Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Team Next Generation team call. It is Wednesday, March 22nd, and as always, I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your nights. And I say that every time, and I don't mean to just say it because I say it. I really do appreciate you guys taking the time out of your nights to show up on these calls. We're all busy. We've all got things going on, so it does actually mean more to me and Deanna than you guys might realize. So we appreciate it. Thank you. Tonight, we've got a few things that we want to go over. We're going to do something a little bit different on this call during the second half, which I'm not going to say yet. So, but I'll let you guys know once we get there. But for the first half of the call, we do want to kind of touch base on something. Deanna's got some good information to kind of share with us. Before we get started into anything, one thing I just want to do a little bit of unpacking here real quickly. Super Saturday is this week. No, it's not this weekend. What weekend is it? It's the next weekend. 2 weekends. Yes. Thank you, Nicole. My mind is like not here right now. I'm like losing things. So it's not this weekend, it's next weekend. If you have not made plans to go to Super Saturday, if you do not know where one is, make sure you reach out. We will help you find one. But whatever you do, make it to Super Saturdays. Make it. I'm telling you, they are an incredible wealth of information. But I'll tell you right now, and I've said it before, one of the major, not just fuel sources, but one of the major indicators of success, one of the major creators of success in this business as a whole is conviction. And you only get conviction by being around others who have conviction for what they're doing. And that is what these events are all about. It is about being around like-minded people with the same focus that share tips, share knowledge, share support. They're fun, they're amazing, and they're flat out a necessity to being successful. You'll never hear a successful coach say they don't go to the functions. I'm just saying. So heads up, check it out. And like I said, if you don't know where one is, reach out to us, reach out to your coach. We will let you know. We will find one. There's more than likely one very near where you are right now. Okay, so unpacking aside, I want to also, actually one other thing, I was going to wait until the end of the call, but I think I'm going to say now that I might repeat it at the end of the call as well. I've asked Nicole tomorrow, okay, not today, but tomorrow, I've asked Nicole to create a video. I don't know if you guys have seen the Sippin' Sisters thing that she does, she does, but she shares a lot of what she does, the meal prep and stuff, live video, and the way she engages with people, the way that she kind of draws in the audience, the way that she shares authentically, and it's still adding value at the same time is really remarkable. It's very well done. So I've asked her to share a little video tomorrow on the team page of kind of a step-by-step kind of ideas, some tips as to how she kind of does that, because video, as we all know, is a major part of what we do. It really sheds light on who you are. It lets people connect with you on a visual as well as on kind of an emotional level. And, you know, as algorithms go with Facebook, it gets more time, right? I mean, it's just a better, live video is even better than regular video, which is better than photos, which is better than posts. So in that order. So she's been nice enough to help us out. Tomorrow she's gonna be posting that, but I'll remind you guys at the end of the call as well. So getting into what we want to talk about tonight, Deanna, I'm going to let you start. She's going to share a little bit of info with you, and then we'll break into another little segment we got going on. So share with us, Deanna.
Okay. So this, like, I'm going to be totally honest. Like half the time when we do team calls, we're like 10 minutes before, dude, what are we going to talk about today? What should the topic be? But actually it was this morning that for some reason something hit me. That a lot of times as a new coach and even a more seasoned coach, and you know how important sharing your journey is online, but a lot of times we just share the what, right? We're just sharing what we're doing, like, sweaty selfie, got my workout done, check, you know, but we forget to share like the why and the how. And I think the why and the how are what really helps us relate to people. So why are we working out? And maybe that can look like, you know what? 2.5 years ago, I was a smoker. I was 15 pounds overweight. I had no energy. I got sick all the time. But by following these programs or by getting my body moving every day and learning how to eat, I've lost that weight. I have more energy. I'm happier. I was able to kick that smoking habit. So you need to be talking to people. Maybe you're talking to old you, right? Maybe you're talking to you last week, last month, last year, or you have that one person that you really want to help and you're speaking to them. Because I think if it's just about us, like what we're doing, then it's not really relatable. But if you're sharing something, good Lord, it's amazing how many people will relate. Like, I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, day before yesterday, I was butthurt. Okay. I was having a butthurt moment that I always try to reach out to friends, like to connect and like hang out. And they're always so busy. That's the first thing they always say. Oh, I'm so busy. And I want to say, dude, I am too, but I don't. I'm going, oh gosh, I guess I have a lot more time on my hands than you do, but I don't say that, but I get butthurt. So I made a post like, gosh, if only there was an app to find like girlfriends or besties or whatever. And I just kind of did it because I was kind of ranting in my own weird like way. And then the response I got was, wow, there's other women out there that feel like that. They're like, gosh, I've really kind of disconnected from my old friends. They're in the party scene. I've since changed, or, my friends have moved away, or for whatever reason, I'm like, wow. And so by something that you just being real and sharing really connects with people. Sometimes when you don't think, it seems so insignificant. And so like, I was just ranting a little bit, and it was just something that I was able to connect with probably like privately 30 to 40 women, just to say, gosh, I'm not alone, or I know how you're feeling. And so it's really great. So really share about the feeling, and, talk about your insecurities, but always come from a positive place of course, not like FML, hashtag FML, because that doesn't do anything. So also about the how, like I do see a lot of you guys, and it's awesome that you guys share like photos of your meal prep, and that's a way to provide value. But what I would recommend is when you're sharing your awesome photo of all your beautiful photos, take that extra moment and say, here's what I made. Because like people might not be able to see what it is. So you're like, for breakfast, I'm having, my Shakeology with half a banana. For lunch, I'm having this and this. For my snack, I'm having this and this. And you're providing people value. So they're like, you just provide them a free meal plan that they can use to start getting, their body moving, to get things changing, and so really providing those values, taking that extra moment. Maybe it's a workout move of the day. Maybe you're going to get your workout done. And once you get that done, you're going to be all, that was a really good move. And you're going to record yourself. And, there's tons of fun apps. So you can fast forward it. So it makes it really funny or whatever. If it makes you kind of uncomfortable, like trying to be all serious, I do that all the time. I fast forward it, put it to music, and then just like, I look like a hot mess, but it's kind of funny because that's what it's supposed to be. Also, just kind of making people laugh is providing value. So always think of a place of how and why. So how can I help somebody? How can this benefit them? And why? Why am I doing this? Why am I putting this out there? So it's just really important to, instead of just the what, right? Like, here's what I ate for dinner, or this smells good. It does smell good actually. But, this smells really good, and oh my gosh, it's really helped with, clearing my nostrils, or I don't know what it does, but it does something cool, I guess. Couple other little things that I wanted to kind of remind people of, because I was guilty of this when I first started coaching, is for some reason I felt like when I got my challenge pack, or I paid my $15.95 coach fee, all of a sudden was this authority, or I thought I had to be this authority to people because I'm no longer a challenger. I'm now a coach, so I need to show up in a coach way. But guys, we're not experts. We're just people on our journey that we want to help other people while on our journey. So I think that can come across like how you post and how you invite, right? So I never say, let me help you. I'm like, hey, let's do this together, because I'm a hot mess. Like, I don't know if you guys saw my lunch. Well, you guys didn't see my lunch. I didn't post that. But you guys saw my dessert after my lunch. My lunch consisted of a huge burger. My dessert consisted of 6 cookies with ice cream. I don't know why they brought so many out. But, we're not perfect. And we don't want to be perfect, because all that does is, say you have a rock star challenger that turns into a coach, that coach is going to think that they need to be perfect like you. And so by sharing, I'm not an expert. Beachbody has all these tools in place. All we're people's cheerleaders, and we're the one person that maybe believes in them. And so, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to be on this journey together. We're going to mess up along the way. We're going to celebrate along the way, and it's going to be awesome. And then last thing I want to say, and then I'll put it over to Justin, is, again, I'm speaking from experience, because I was looking back on my timeline and kind of realizing I made these things, habits, mistakes, whatever you want to call them, learning opportunities, is don't be perfect. I felt like I was so scared to let people see Like I would look at, okay, I used to follow top coaches. I don't anymore. I literally don't. But I would see like Megan Eagleton, if you guys know who she is. She's freaking gorgeous. So beautiful, like beautiful, I'm telling you. So I would see her and she was always beautiful. Even when she was a hot mess and her son was puking on her, she was still perfect. And I was just like, oh, she's so pretty. But I would never approach her. I mean, I'm sure she's totally sweet, but she just seems so unapproachable because she was so perfect. And so I think that when we feel like when we become coaches, that we feel like we need to be perfect. We need to say, oh, we always eat this way, or we always look this way, or we always, are 100% on our workout game. But it's so not true, and it's not relatable. So being relatable is what's going to really help. On the flip side, so I mean, share your shit is what I think I told Justin. I'm like, share your shit. Today freaking sucked, but I got it done. Or today was hard, but tomorrow is going to be better. Or I was way off my game. Like I am super bloated right now, but you know what? There's always tomorrow I can pick back up. On the flip side of that, don't be a super negative Nelly pants. Nobody wants that either. Like it's okay to say, dude, today really flipping sucked, but put that positive spin on it. Don't just say today sucked and then tomorrow today sucked. Have a resolution. Have that, like Justin says, I always say, be the superhero of your own story. Like, dude, I'm really struggling with this right now, and I'm really not sure how I'm going to get over it, but I love that I have the support and I have of my team, or I love that I have the emotional break of being able to work out that really helps me. So, put that positive spin on it. And I'm out. That's all I got.
I'm out. Mic drop.
I'm not good at
That's hilarious. Yeah, to kind of touch base again on the whole idea of we don't want to be experts. We really actually don't want to be experts, but I know I struggle with that same thing. Like it's kind of like Deanna knows that, and most people that follow me or my friends know that. Like I don't like to learn things in front of people. I want to know what. If somebody asks me a question, I want to know the answer. So it's really frustrating to not be able to give the answer because I feel stupid, right? Like I just feel like no, you're coming to me for help. I'm supposed to know. But the fact is, and I know that I'm not alone in that, the fact is people are better off with you saying, you know what, that's a great question and I'm not sure, but I can find out the answer, because it lets them know that. So Tanya said this really well. Tanya, we went to dinner the other night with Tanya Landis and her husband. If you don't know who she is, she's another coach on Justice team. They do very well. She's incredible. But she mentioned, she's like, from the second I have a challenger in my challenge groups, the second I start talking to them, I'm grooming them as a coach. Like I'm setting them up for what it's going to be like coaching. And what that means is I'm letting them to know what to expect. I'm showing what I'm doing, and that's what they can expect from a coach. So if I'm showing them perfection, they can expect that they're going to feel they need to be perfect. You know what I mean? And I can expect that. And then people don't want to live up to that, or don't feel they can live up to that. It actually does us far better to show people that, no, we're not here to be experts. That's the great thing about what we do. We don't have to be experts, right? Like I've done much better when I've been able to tell people, hey, you know what? If there's something that I don't know, the beauty of what we do is that we've got a team of other people. So if you've got a shoulder impingement, I am not a physical therapist, nor am I a trainer. I don't know, but we've got physical therapists, we've got trainers, we've got MDs in the team that I can reach out and ask to. So we have a wealth of support. So any question we answered, I don't have to know that though. And it lets them know that they're backed and they've got people, they've got a team that they can rely on as well. So really don't worry about being perfect. It actually is far better for you if you're not. People are going to relate to it a lot more. But like Deanna said, superhero of your own story. So what I want to do, and this is going to throw some of you guys out of your comfort zone, so this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. I want everybody to comment. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand and talk or anything like that. I'm going to ask you to put it in the comment section so that everybody feels comfortable. I think it's a little bit easier for people to type it out sometimes than to put themselves out there and be like, okay, I'm next and talk. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and then Deanna and I want to touch on them. The first question is, I've got these fears, so I'll show you mine. Everybody has them. So let's just hit me in the face. Everybody's got them. What are your fears right now? What's your biggest fear about being a coach in general? Just the general scheme. If you had to think, man, what scares me? What am I nervous about being a coach? I want to know what that is. Do me a favor right now and type in, what is that in the comment section right now? Absolutely fear of failure. I know for mine, the fear of being a coach is actually kind of a little bit what I just shared. For me, a little bit of it is just having to put myself out there in a way that I don't look like, that I don't look like an expert, because I don't want you to see me doing something wrong, right? So that makes me actually a little bit fearful, like I get nervous. And then there was, when I first started, a huge fear of our ability to actually be successful, regardless of other people's success, our ability to actually achieve that success. I know there's going to be a few of these answers that are exactly the same, but I want to go through them here real quick and see. Jessica says letting people down, absolutely. Not being as good as I want to be. Susan says fear of not knowing what I'm doing. It's totally fair. Fear of time to devote to others. Fear of judgment because I'm off my game. Failing to be successful. Fear of letting others down and not being able to help them. Fear of failure. So a lot of us actually, kind of struggle with similar ones, right? Mainly like the fear of failure, right? And when I say failure, it kind of, if you think about it, right? Failing to be successful is a fear of failure, right? Fear of not knowing what I'm doing, right, is still a fear of failing. I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to fail at it if I don't know what I'm going to do. It makes me anxious. Letting people down, I'm failing on them, Jessica. Like all those things. So a lot of that stuff is a fear of failure. So here's what I can say about coaching, and Deanna, I'd love to get your input on this as well. Okay, but part of the reason I'm having you write these down is because what you're going to notice, I believe, in all of these questions is that more often than not, we all have basically the same fears. Okay, we're all scared of the exact same things. The good thing about that is, from being around the successful coaches and the coaches that are really like, the top coaches, the ones that have been here well, that are successful in every way, I guess, you kind of pick out the fact that those things that we're fearful of, they actually aren't really anything to be fearful of, right? So for instance, fearing of failures, well, the fear of all of the failing of being successful as a coach gets based into what that failure looks like, meaning what is successful, right? What we do know is, if you take the fear, and actually, just today, Tina and Deanna and I had this conversation actually earlier. If you take the fear out of what your outcome is, right? If success doesn't look like my success club this month, or how many people I helped in my, how many people bought challenge packs from me, or my ranking as a coach, if you can take the success out of that and instead put it in those actions, feeling success and the fact that you completed the necessary actions to do your best each and every day, if you can put your success, what is labeled as your success, in your own specific actions and take it away from things that you can't totally control, right? Put it in here, you will be successful at everything you do. And I'll tell you right now, this world is the world that continues you moving forward, because you're doing the actions every day, even when things go wrong, which we all know things are going to go wrong. They go wrong all the time, right? But if you're successful in the idea that, hey, regardless of it going wrong, I still did what I needed to do, right? That success, the largest success, the ranks, the success club, all those things that you're looking to find success in will happen down the road if you find success in doing these things. Here's the beauty in that. More often than not, and I'm going to say more often than not, probably over 90% of the time, that people aren't successful in reaching the goals. When you really break it down, it's more that they weren't successful in long enough of doing the vital behaviors every day. So it's not they didn't do their vital behaviors for a week. They could have done it for a week. Maybe it's the first week of the month, right? Maybe they just started coaching and they've only been coaching for 2 weeks, and every day for those 2 weeks, they did the vital behaviors, but they still didn't hit Success Club, right? That doesn't mean that they failed, and it's not those people that you're talking to. They just haven't had long enough to successfully do those daily vital behaviors for it to start catching up, for it to build that momentum. It's a bit of the compound effect. So what I really would, and Deanna, show me your idea. Tell me what you're thinking about on this. But my stance on it is, as soon as we can take our thoughts of failure and put them to, you know what? I didn't show up today. I didn't support my challengers today. I didn't invite today. I didn't post today. I didn't follow up today. I didn't add friends today. I failed on that. Those are things that I did not do. I did not sign up for somebody. I did not return the message that I sent out. I did not invite people because I'm a coach and I said I was going to. I did not do all these things that I'm not in control of. I'm in control of this. I did not do this. Now I failed there. Let's turn that failure into a positive and figure out how am I going to make sure now that I do those things so I don't do that again, right? But over here, somebody saying no, somebody not following through, somebody saying I'm all in and let's do this, and then dropping out of challenge group a week later or 2 days later or whatever it is. You can't control this stuff. This does not create your failure. Your failure is only created by what you did not do that you can control. Does that make sense to people? Yeah. And I know it's a lot of fluff stuff, but I'm telling you, the second that mind shift takes place and you start focusing on just those daily behaviors and take that emphasis off of feeling like you didn't do something right because somebody didn't respond the way you thought you wanted them to respond, things will shift for you. Jenna, what's your take on that?
So no, spot on. So like Justin was saying, be proud of the actions, make your success or failure dependent on your actions, not your outcome. And once you're able to do that, everything shifts. Like, I'll be real with you guys. I've had 2 people in 2.5 years return challenge packs. This month was one of them. Of course, the month where you get 3 points from last month. So I was -3 this month. And I mean, now we're at 5, so we're getting there, but I'm not going to let that define my success or failure. I'm allowing what I do, what I show up daily determine. So yeah, there's days I failed, and that's on me. That's not on anybody else. It doesn't mean I'm a bad coach. It means I'm human. And it means that I can learn from that and I can grow from that. As far as, I don't know if Elizabeth's there. So as far as Jason, like, I think that all the fear, for one, I want to appreciate and recognize you guys for sharing your fears, because it's scary to be vulnerable, right? It's scary to say, I'm scared of something, but we all have fears, whether we share them or not. So Jason, like, people not being interested in your journey. Truth is, not everybody's going to be interested in your journey, but the ones that are the ones that matter, right? Like, not everybody wants to lose weight and get healthy, but the ones that do are going to be following. And those are the ones that you're going to be impacting. I think so often, myself included, and I've gotten better at it, but I'm not perfect, is that I don't focus on all these lives that I've been able to help, or the people that say, thank you for saying that. I really needed that today. I focus on maybe that one person that might give like a snarky kind of backhanded compliment kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, but why? I have all these people that I'm impacting in some way, but I just let one person affect how I think about myself or to second guess what I'm doing. And it's just bull. So you're not speaking to everybody. You don't want to talk to everybody. You want to talk to people that are wanting a change. And so you need to be proud of that. Jason, yeah, I'm talking to you, buddy. So Tammy, not losing weight fast enough. Like Nicole was right in what she said, that it's not all about just losing weight. It's a whole mind, body, mental, physical kind of thing. So you can share, hey, you know what? Be real. I'm struggling with losing weight right now. Either I'm not on my nutrition game like I should be, I'm not pushing as hard in my workout, or you know what? When us ladies, when we get to a certain age, things just start changing, and that's real life. And that's relatable, right? Like, until I was like in my mid-30s, I could eat whatever I wanted. Once mid-30 happened, then it's like, what's going on? So, but that's real relatable. They're like, I hear you, but that do you have more energy? Are you happier? Do you feel better? Have you made new friendships? Share those things. Jess, gaining weight, totally normal. And I think that's totally relatable. I posted one time my before and after picture, where my after picture, I had actually gained like 5 pounds. And it's just real, because we're not experts. We don't need to be perfect. So showing that you're real, you're like, okay, here's what happens when I'm not on my nutrition. Here's what happens when I kind of half-ass my workouts. And here's why I know why nutrition is so important. So you can use that as like a catalyst to share the importance of actually, eating. And then, yeah. So one thing I actually posted today in my morning workout post is if fear of failure keeps you from doing anything, you've already failed. You've already decided your fate. So, but what if you do it and you fail? Okay, you failed. But what if you don't? So you need to push and you need to do what you feel in your heart. And sometimes it's not going to be easy. A lot of times it's going to be uncomfortable. But I tell you, every single time you push outside your comfort zone and you do that shit that scares the shit out of you, because I'm doing a lot of stuff that scares me lately. It's freeing and it's liberating, and it gives you that confidence that you didn't know that you had inside of you, because you're like, wow, if I can push past that fear, I'm leaning into it, I'm pushing through it, I'm breaking it down, I'm making it my bitch, then, I mean, amazing things can happen.
You said making it my bitch. That just sounds hilarious. But, you know, guys, I mean, obviously she's totally right too, though. A lot of it, like, that's one of the great things about Beachbody. It's so easy for us to get caught up in the idea. It goes back to the idea of trying to be perfect, right? Like, I don't feel I'm enough. That's where it comes from, right? I haven't lost enough. I haven't changed enough. I can't help somebody enough. What, you know, like, all these things come from it. But the great thing about what we do specifically is that it's 100%, it's a lifestyle change. And I hate this tag word, but it's a journey, right? Everybody's going to do this on their journey. Nobody just makes forward progress at all times. It's not feasible for anybody to even think that they could do. So if it takes one person a little bit longer to achieve whatever it is, you know, I might look and go, well, how can I share what we do? Because, you know, nobody's going to be as interested in it with me. I mean, I'm not making what Jesse makes, you know, a month in this business. So how are we successful if, you know, I'm not successful? It's what she does is totally unrelatable to some people, right? Like, you know, maybe you've never made a cent as a coach whatsoever, but like Yana said, maybe you made friends, you're healthier. Maybe you haven't ever lost a pound, but you feel better and you have more energy, or maybe you're more athletic. Maybe you've changed, you know, maybe you've been able to run farther, do an extra push-up. You feel stronger. You feel more confident. Like, those are things that really matter to people, that impact them, that we overlook because we in our mind for some reason get on this thing that we're supposed to see transformation in every aspect, and if we're not perfect in that transformation, then we're not doing it the right way and we're not worthy of something. And it just is bullshit. It's just not true, you know. Okay, and again, like Yana said, I appreciate everybody actually opening up and saying this or sharing this stuff with us, because I do know that it's not comfortable to share like what your concerns are. But I think if everybody just shares that stuff, we can address all of it and try to give you guys some decent value here. Okay, I want everybody to comment, what is your biggest concern about inviting people to your challenge groups? What makes your skin crawl when you think about inviting someone to a challenge group? Or what is it that makes you nervous, or, you know, what's holding you back from it? Maybe it's not making you nervous, but you just feel a certain way about it, right? But what is that? I'm gonna try to get on this chat box here so I can actually read it. Let's see. Okay. So Megan says, people are tired of hearing from me. Feeling like you're just like bugging people, right? Just, oh, they're going to drive me insane. I'm going to drive them insane, and they're just going to want me to leave them alone. You know, they think I'm trying to sell them versus help them. Yeah, absolutely. I know that was a major concern for me when I first started. I didn't want to tell any of my clients at the salon that I was a coach. I didn't want to talk to them at all because I was so scared that they were going to think I'm trying to sell them something all the time, and it's going to drive them insane. Let's see. Sorry, I got to scroll back up. Yeah, Jessica agrees. The same one, Jessica. They're trying to sell you versus buying. Not wanting to piss people off because I'm bothering them. Absolutely, Tracy. Totally makes sense. Again, being a salesperson, right? Selling and not sharing. Holding me back. Tammy says just the fear of people saying no. Absolutely. How to sell it and give them the info they may ask. Susan, absolutely. Not feeling genuine. Totally. Lack of credibility. Nicole, that's a great one. And just them saying no. So, okay, I'm going to go down these one by one here. The majority, because there's a couple that I really want to touch on, and Dion, I'm sure you want to touch on as well. The majority of them is sales. Full force, that was my biggest fear when I first started. I hate sales. I hate oh God. Like, there are a few things that I will really get like passionate about, but the idea of pushy sales like makes my skin crawl. And I don't want my clients know that I don't sell products at the salon. because I need them to trust me. To me, the idea that somebody thinks I sell something to them, they're not going to trust what I say. And then I can't get through to them. So it just goes against everything for me. I hate it. I don't like being sold to. I want to sell. Major roadblock for me in talking to clients. Eventually, I got over that and I started bringing it up. And you'd be amazed how many of my clients have now been in our challenge groups, or are on board as wanting to coach. And the part of that is once you recognize that you don't have a choice. You think you're selling something, you're not, because you can't. Because we can't sell fitness. Even if you sell them, that you get them to buy the product, they're not going to do the work. They're just not. You're not selling them a pill they can take. You're selling hard work, guys. You're selling coaching, quote unquote. You're selling hard work. You're selling working out, eating, following a nutrition plan. You're selling hard work. Uncomfortable, frustrating, not always on board, concerning, scary work. No one that gets sold is ever going to complete it because they didn't have it in their heart in the first place. That's why we hear no. That's the beautiful thing about this business. I can't sell you shit if I want to, because even if I talk you into buying it, you're going to hate it and you're going to hate me and I'm going to hate the whole situation because my goal is I want to change your life. If I can't change your life because you're unwilling to do it, I would rather have a no than you say yes just to appease me and buy the damn product. Makes zero sense, right? But once you get beyond the idea that you really can sit back and go, and this doesn't sound good when I say it, but understand where it comes from. I don't care if you say yes or no, okay? It's not that you don't want to help them and you don't care. You truly are uninvested in the idea that they are going to say no or yes to what you're doing. You're just offering what you're doing and they're either in or they're out, right? Like, and if you kind of stop it there, you're not trying to sell something because you're just sharing what you're doing. Like, period. This is the importance of, this is why we preach, be on a program, right? Be a product of the product. That's why it's so important. If you're not a product of the product, you have nothing to share. And if you have nothing to share, you can only sell. And if you can only sell, you'll never have the information to give somebody because you don't know, because you're not going through those struggles yourself. You're not using the product yourself. You don't know how to share something that you're not dealing with, right? Like that you've never used. Gianna, what's your take on the sales thing?
On the sales thing, I would actually say something a little bit differently. And we're all not here to sell, but if you're newer to coaching, you might be coming across that way. So you might be feeling that way because you might be selling.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, and I say that only because as a new coach, everything is overwhelming and there's so much information and you want to help people, but you don't have all these tools, right? This is a failing forward type of business. You definitely learn as you go. You're like, well, that didn't work and this didn't work. And here's how I talk to people. And here's how I shouldn't. I absolutely sold people, not intentionally by any means, but I'm like, hey, I'm doing this group. And they're like, sure, tell me more information. I'm like, hey, it's $140. It's on sale. It's going to be great. You're going to get this. But I forgot to ask those questions. I forgot to ask about them. I forgot to ask about their goals. I forgot to ask if this is even something that they would want to do. And really quick to tie into the no, it's okay if people say no. There's one of two reasons people say no. It's either because we haven't provided them with enough value to have them say yes because they don't know how it's going to help them because we rushed to that sale, whether unintentionally or it's just not for them. It's okay if people are like, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm really not looking to change my health and fitness. That is fine. We're not here to change the world. How amazing would it be if we could? But people aren't saying no to us. They're saying no because I'm not ready to devote time and energy to working out for 30 minutes and changing my eating habits. It's just not a priority to me right now. And you have to respect that and know that they're not saying no to you like I don't like you. They're saying no, I don't have it in me. So it's either we're not providing value of how it will truly help them with asking questions like whether you think you're done, you've asked 2 or 3 questions and you think you know the right program for them, ask them one more question to seal that deal and really know about their lifestyle, about their struggles, about everything. And then you can say, hey, I think that this would be amazing for you. And here's why. So you're sharing that value that it's gonna kind of fill that need, right? Or they're just not ready, and then that's totally fine. So
yeah, absolutely. I think great point, babe. Thank you. I think I was wrong when I said you can't sell it. What I meant to say is, even if you can sell it, we shouldn't be, right? Like we need to, like what she was talking about, the way we actually speak to people and the way we talk about it, and it can come off as sales. But my point is, you truly can't like actually sell it, because even if you manage to get through that path and you do that, it isn't going to function on the level that's supposed to function. So I guess you can sell it, but it can't be sold. It doesn't function well if it's sold. That's not the way to really grow it or to really help people. So we kind of have to take the focus on that. And my point with that is really to take the pressure off of it, right? If you don't want to feel like if your concern is that people are going to think you're selling something, well, then don't sell them on it, right? Like, it's not to say don't combat objections, don't reply, don't follow up. It's to say don't push them in a direction. Understand that if some people are going to say, you know what, she's not that time, like Yana said, they're not saying no to you. We need to take ourselves out of the equation. It's really easy for us to attach things to us. And guys, none of this is about us. It just isn't. Like, sorry to say, but when somebody says no, like, we need to stop making it about us and just let it know that, no, it's just about the value. They don't see the value in it right now. And that is absolutely A-okay. Not a problem. Another thing is, sometimes it takes people a long time to recognize the value. That's why we say it's so important. When we say be here next year, right? Continue those actions, have confidence in the fact, and be excited about the fact that you achieved the actions and not looking at the outcome. Stop looking so much and weighing everything on the outcome. It's because if you do those daily actions and you continue to do them, and you're here next year, and then you're here next year, those people that you wanted to touch their lives a year ago, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 2 years ago, whatever it is, if you're showing up, eventually they're going to see that. And that's when they come around, and that snowball starts to get bigger, and it starts to get down the other side of the hill, and it starts to get traction. And all these people that you've been building these relationships, talking to, that have been telling you no again, telling you no 15 times, right? Finally, they're like, you know what? Okay, now is my time, because now, for whatever reason, maybe I had a guy just the other day reach out to me because he's like, you know what? I went to the doctor. And he had said no numerous times. He said, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said I'm pre-diabetic, and it terrified me. What do I need to do? The only reason he reached out to me is because he'd seen me talk about it. I'm still talking about it, and I'd reached out to him before. But that might be somebody that, if I would have been scared to ask him, because what if he says no? Well, he did say no. But finally he said yes, and this actually now impacts his life heavily, because Shakeology is actually going to change his health for him, and that's a big deal. It's something, it just took something to make him nervous. I could never have done that. It had to be that moment for him. So our job is just to keep on showing up and have an option for those people when they get to that moment, right? It isn't about them saying no to us. It's about them saying yes in the future. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so also so Nicole, you said lack of credibility, which I actually like that a lot. That goes back, guys, because I know that some people, myself included, have dealt with that. That goes back to the idea of, we don't have anything to be credible of, right? We don't need credibility. Our credibility is in our ability to just give you a high five. Like, our credibility isn't in the knowledge that we know. Our credibility is in the programs. Beachbody does a damn good job of making some seriously good programs that they put a lot of money into R&D for, that they do all the test groups, that they hire all the best trainers, get the nutrition. Like, I don't have to know that stuff. So my credibility lies in the idea that I'm here to support you. As long as you show up, I'm going to show up. That's where I need to find my credibility, right? That's where it comes from. Yeah, go.
Yeah, because the reality is there's so many people that we do talk to in regards to, oh, I worked with a personal trainer before. And, it's just like anybody. It's a doctor, it's an attorney. They all have plaques on the walls. But that was a holdup for me in February. Even though I had this and I had that, I had personal successes, but an extreme humbling February for me. And I think my fear of my invites were truly the credibility. And behind, again, just because I've plunked into my education, I'm studying, I still study. It's not just about, coaching. I take this very, very seriously. So the thing is even at our Super Saturday with Autumn Calabrese on the stage with the Q&A, they were people of all sorts of ages, sizes, and fitness levels were there, pounding her and asking her all these questions of, well, what about this? And well, what about that? And you're a this and you're a that. And you know what? Her credibility, and which I even respected even more so, is the fact that she said, what did your doctor say? Because I'm not a doctor. I don't have that plaque on the wall. So I was going over the fact that when I look at my invites in February as opposed to March, completely different attitude, completely different level of not afraid to get that no. And I'm not going to personalize it just because I don't have that certificate. And again, you got to remember I'm studying for something different, which is completely different than this part of it, just to be a certified group trainer. So anyway, but does that make sense?
Totally. And that's exactly the point. I'm glad that you shared the fact that it was like thank God we don't need to have a plaque on the wall to have our credibility. Because if we needed that, guys, do you realize how much harder it would be what we're trying to do? We would be able to change and touch less lives because we would need to go through more. And then, we realize that when Deanna and I, for instance, when we help somebody in a challenge group, right, we're touching their lives. But what's amazing about this is it gives you, the way Beachbody's built is it gives you the ability to touch not just those lives, but then we talk to Jessica, and Jessica decides, hey, I want to coach too. Now, even though I don't have a part in the lives that she is speaking to, the people that she's speaking to by herself personally, because of me saying, hey, Jess, do you want to do this? It was a play in the lives of everybody that she's able to reach out and touch. And then every coach that so we were able to expand that so much deeper that would never happen if everybody down there had to have a certificate of this and a certificate of that, had to go to school for this, had to go to school. Our credibility literally lies in the fact that we're showing up doing what we can every day. We're trying to do our best. We're on the same journey as you're on. And I'm just sharing with you, the only knowledge I need to have is anything I've learned along the way that I can share, any tips, which surprisingly, guys, even though we might not think that we have a lot to share, you guys, all of us, have a lot to share because we know a lot more about these programs than people that have never done these programs, right? Like we know little tips. I know every single person in this group has learned a tip about nutrition, fitness, something that they were like, oh, that's super. I didn't know, okay. And sorry, Tina, I'm going to steal this from you, but I told you to share it anyway, so I'm going to share it. Tina was like, yeah, I went on vacation. So what happened is when me and my husband left, before we left, we prepped food so that when we got back from vacation, we didn't have to think about we're going to eat and end up going out to eat. We had some meals already prepped. I'm like, never thought about doing that. That's awesome. That is our credibility. Tips like that. Things that other people don't think about doing that you're like, oh, that's good. I like that. Hey, that's what we do. We're here to support. We've got these great programs that we can plug you into that know all the science and crap that I don't know, right? And I got some tips that can share along the way. Okay, the last one I want you guys to do, and this one's going to be a tougher one. I want to know what scares you guys about specifically inviting to the coach opportunity, to literally doing what you do. What terrifies you about that? Mine? Oh my gosh. When I first started, I was comfortable with talking to people about the coaching opportunity. And with that said, not just hearing no, but talking to certain people made me really anxious. If I thought that you were on a level that if I felt like you're smarter than me, there's no way I was talking to you about coaching because I didn't want to, I'm like, oh, you're going to think I'm an idiot. If I thought like there's no way I would talk to a doctor about coaching because I'm like, you're way more educated than I am. You've already got a good job. There's no way I am going to talk to you about what I do. Now, hey, let's chat, right? But it was terrifying at first. What were you guys, what's everyone else here scared of? Let's see. Let me move this over so I can see it. Okay. So Megan, fear of appearing like it works, like an it works distributor. I think I've always had ulterior motives. Absolutely. That's a phenomenal one. I think you're probably not alone on that. So I'm going to wait for a few more to come through because I think that that's probably going to be something that a handful of people kind of come up with. They will think it's too much work. That's a really good one. That is a really good one. Yeah, I can't wait. Okay, I'm going to be all over that one. It's a pyramid scheme. Absolutely, Deanna. How can I invite someone to be a coach when I'm still trying to get the hang of it myself? Fantastic one. I love all these. I'm going to start walking through these because these are phenomenal. Okay. How would I guide them when I didn't know the first thing about coaching? when you don't know the first thing about coaching. Guys, as crazy as this sounds, when you're a brand new coach, you are in the best position to actually invite people to coaching because you don't know too much. Okay? What tends to happen is as a coach, all of a sudden we start learning about the business. I am so guilty of this. We start learning about the business and we want to share everything we know about the business. And it overwhelms people because what Deanna and I are doing right now in our business, a brand new coach needs not to be doing what we are doing right now in our business. It doesn't make sense. It's way too much. It's way overwhelming. We're not doing that much, but as a brand new coach, you need to do so little in the grand scheme of things that you're like, if you just started out, you're like, well, what do you do as a coach? Well, I work out, I share my journey online, and I invite people. Perfect. That's what you tell people to do because that's what they need to do. Once you start coaching for a while, you're like, and I follow up with people, and I invite people every day, and then I make sure that I add friends, and then I also check into my challenge groups, and then I'm talking to people about the coaching opportunity. So then I'm on, and you make it sound like it's all this stuff when in reality, it's like we've got it scheduled in. We've built these little processes over time that make it something that we can do efficiently because we've made it easier for ourselves. But at the very first, you know exactly the amount that you're supposed to know to talk to somebody new about coaching. It is really like the very best time. It's kind of like there's a catch-22 to this, but when somebody starts with a new challenge group, I've had a couple coaches, and let me preface this, like I said, this is a two-way street, but follow me on this. I think a lot of times the best time for somebody to start a challenge group or start coaching actually is right when they start a program, like before they've ever done it. But the only reason for that is I believe that they need to have a belief in the product, right? So the better coaches truly come from a challenge group where they've gone through the process and they have a true belief in the product. But with that said, you take somebody that's never, ever even done a product before, never done a program, never been a challenge group, and then they start inviting people, they truly get a say with 100% honesty. I'm going to change my life like this. This is what I'm doing. And man, I need all the support I can get. I would love to have you join me. And they can say it 100% authentic. That's amazing, right? Like that's truly one of the best times where it seems like it would be the worst time to start coaching. I think I'm like, wow, you actually get that opportunity. That's amazing. I have to kind of dial it down and think, now I don't want to come off like I'm trying to sound too much like a coach. So I really wanted to be relatable, because it is what it's all about. It's not about trying to coach you. It's about trying to do this together. So how do I make sure that I don't have those, as a new coach, you don't have those things to think about, right? Like you just, okay. So if your concern is, two things. If your concern is, I don't know what to tell them, great. You tell them to do exactly what you tell them, what you've been doing. And two, if that's the biggest concern, no problem. All of us here have a strong upline coach, meaning that we all have support. So anybody on this call is either reaching out to Jessica, reaching out to Megan, reaching out to me, reaching out to Deanna. We all here have people that will support us. So if you're scared and somebody's like, hey man, I want to do what you're doing. You're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. That's the person that you say, hey, Jessica, I've got this friend and she really wants to do what I'm going to do. What do I do? Great. No problem. Let's just jump on a call real quick. Let's learn about them and then we'll plug them into some real basic training. You guys can all do this together. Perfect timing. You guys can do it together. How awesome is that? You're going to learn together. This is phenomenal, right? Like totally get where that comes from, but it's really a mind shift on how you think about where that comes from. Let's see, and I got to go back up here. Just to say no. Okay, sorry. Now I got to figure out where these actually started because okay, so need to find a way for people who want a lifestyle change. Let's go down. Fear of appearing like it. Okay, so fear of appearing that it looks like you're in another MLM basically, or that you're that you're just trying to sell something, especially when you've been working with them for a while. I think personally, and Deanna, do you want to break in on that last one?
I'm taking tons of notes. I figured I'd just do it at the end because I'm like ah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so real quick, then I'll let Deanna jump into it. So she might say something different than me, but as far as like the not wanting to look like another distributor, personally, I feel like this is really, it's more of a fear that we have, and if we bring that into the conversation, we're going to promote it as a conversation. So step back away from that for a second and think about your true intention. Your intention with you originally wanted to help somebody get healthy and fit. That was what that's why you invited them, man. You invited them to a challenge group more than likely. You wanted to get healthy and fit. Then maybe you saw something in them. Maybe you saw something beforehand and you're like, that person would be an amazing coach, right? Well, your intention either way is positive. It's good. You want to change your life in a positive direction at the end of the day, because here's the deal, guys. None of us can be successful if we focus 100% on trying to make ourselves successful. Deanna and I cannot be successful without trying to focus and putting our energy into making other people get healthier and more fit or be successful in their business. Like, our goal has to be you guys reaching your goals. That's the beauty of what we do. That's one of the things I love about it so much. So we can't find, even though you may be concerned about it coming off like that, that concern is coming from you, because it's 100%. Your goal is not to do that. Your goal is not to be, some kind of like, hey, I'm just trying to sell you on something and then go on. And also remember that a lot of that kind of concern comes from what you feel about other people doing, right? Like, this person probably, is that Megan, is that you the one who said that? I think it was, probably you've had that happen where you felt like somebody else was trying to sell you on that. And that is a scenario where you're like, man, this is crap, because you just wanted to talk to me because, you just had me in the script because you want me to be on your team or whatever. Most of those things are scenarios where people actually impose those on people. If that's not in your heart, then it's not going to come across like that to people. It only comes across if that's what you're trying to do, So don't fear that. And remember that this isn't what those things are. This is a very different system. To me, I believe it's a very different system. That it's too much work gets back to the idea, and I love that you said that, Tracy, that they're going to think it's just way too much. You're going to get a lot of people that say it's too much time because they don't know what the time is involved. Fact of the matter is, we all have time. It's back to the why. It's the same time concern of, hey, I don't want to, be in a challenge group because I don't have the time to work out, right? If they've seen the value in what we're doing and they truly want to help people, the time concern is not going to come up. But it is a good thing to think about, because if we show them it takes a lot of time, they will be concerned it takes a lot of time. And when I say if we show them it takes a lot of time, I'm not saying lie and don't tell people that it takes, but be reasonable about it, right? People think Deanna and I we've had that happen, and this has been a problem that we've had actually. When we start to give you kind of backstory, when we started doing challenge groups, we did videos every single day, right? You know what we ended up with? A lot of people telling us, hey, I don't know if I could ever be a coach because I can't do videos every day. Well, we were showing them that that's just not true. We didn't know that that's what we were showing, but that's what we were conveying with what we were doing every day. They thought to be successful coaches, I've got to do videos. I don't like videos. I don't want to coach. That's where they came with it. People are always trying to figure out, can I do what you do? Can I truly actually do what you do? If we show them all day long, this is all I'm doing, this is my entire life, and I spend 50 hours a week on it, they're going to think, I can't fit that into my schedule. But if we're honest and be like, dude, hey, you know what? I know it seems like a lot of time, but, or whatever you're feeling, but this is what I do. I spend 45 minutes here and 15 minutes here at the end of the day. And that is my, that is my power hour. This is the time. And I do it consistently. And I show up every single day. It will take time, a long time, a year, 15 months, 2 years, whatever it looks like. But it doesn't take 50 hours a week to do. It can be built on the side, because if it couldn't be built on the side of a normal job, full-time job, none of Deanna and I wouldn't be able to do it. Most of the people on this call would not be able to do it, right? So that is a fear, but I don't think, I think if we don't put that out there again, I don't think it's a fear that actually most people have. Babe, what do you want to say? I want you to jump into while I'm reading some of these so we don't take all night.
To kind of touch on the too much work. So I'm gonna be the tough love coach right now, and I'm gonna say, how much time are you spending a day? Because I am flipping guilty of this, where I can take my task that should legitimately take me probably, if I focus, 45 minutes, and I will make that take 2.5, 3 hours. I'm not kidding, because I start, okay, I'm going to send 3 friend requests, and then, okay, well, that's simple enough. Okay, now I'm going to send 3 invites. Oh my gosh, my thing just beeped. Okay, so I need to respond to that message. Okay, and then, oh my gosh, what is that? What is that? Oh my God, I need to go to their page and check out what they're doing. Oh my gosh, look at that video. That was, what was I doing again? Okay, yeah, okay, I was inviting. So I'm going to start inviting, and then I'm like, bing, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I got to write something down. I just got to do this really, really quick before I forget. because I know I'll forget if I don't do it right away. So I'm going to go right here. I need to comment on that person. Oh my gosh, it's that person's birthday today. I need to send them a happy birthday message. And then, I've been so guilty of doing that. So really, coaching doesn't take a lot of time. We make it take a lot of time. Like I've talked to some of you guys. I'm like, how many times do you go in your challenge groups? Oh, 3-4 times a day. I'm like, what? I used to be that person. I used to feel like I needed to respond to people immediately. I needed to show that I was there every second of the day, but you're also showing potential future coaches that they need to duplicate that as well. So what I do now, I schedule all my posts because I use a challenge tracker app. So every Sunday I will go and I'll schedule the week, and then I go in there one time a day. And then I go and I love on people. And like I was telling Elizabeth yesterday, I've got about 50 people in my group right now, and I can bust through those bad boys in like 10, 15 minutes. You're liking, because you don't need to comment every time somebody has Shakeology. You need to say, delicious, delicious, delicious. So you can like on some of those things, and then somebody gets a workout done saying, way to go, proud of you, great job, what are you doing today? You know, just really quick. And then that way you're being present, you're showing love, you're encouraging them, and then you encourage your challengers to encourage the people in the group. So there are all many coaches in the group because it really takes a community to help support people. So that's my little thought on the too much work thing. The not into fitness, people are not into fitness, so that's your fear. I would say, are you adding to your friends? So I know that Erin shared that in her town it's small, so she's fear that there's too many coaches. And for some reason, I've had new coaches think this, that they think their own community, their own city, and they're like, oh my gosh, everybody's already doing it. I'm like, we have the whole United States in Canada. Like, I'll give you guys a super secret tip here, that when we met with corporate, they said that the most unbeach-bodied city is San Francisco. So, you know, people in San Francisco, go blow up San Francisco. There you go. Nobody's doing Beachbody there. So we assume, because our news feeds are filled with Beachbody, because you know what? How many Beachbody friends are you friends with? At least probably 10. So you see it all the time. So you assume that everybody is seeing it all the time, and they're not. There's people that are like, what's a Beachbody? Oh, P90X, that's Beachbody. I've heard of P90X. I didn't know Beachbody. But we live it, we breathe it. So we assume that everybody knows about it, and they don't. It's just that we're inundated with it every single day because our circle is Beachbody, right? So that's that. You need to reach outside your network. That's the importance of being able to having to add friends outside your network to really grow and build. Let's see. So there's something that, back to the no, when people are like, you feel like you're bugging people or you don't want to bother them. And I'm gonna say this in the most loving way. You're not that important. Like, I know that sounds really bad, and I say that for shock value only because everybody's just worried about themselves, right? Like you. So I do this dance class every Thursday, and I always invite a bunch of ladies, and they're like, I'm so nervous. I'm like, nobody's paying attention to you. They're all worried about people are judging them, and they're more concerned about themselves and what people might be thinking of them, which the next person is just worried about what people are thinking of them, and nobody actually is thinking of them. They're all thinking about themselves. So when you invite, people aren't like, oh my gosh, who's this person? You know, they're just like, no, like, I have a girlfriend that just invited me to like a lipstick party, and I'm actually friends with her. And I was actually like, hey, thanks for thinking of me, because I truly think, you know, hey, it was on her mind, whether or not she's wanting to sell something. I'm kind of in her network, and I came to her mind. So awesome. But I said, no, thanks. I don't wear lipstick, but that's awesome, you know? And I was in no way irritated, and I get hit up all the time, and I think it's great. And I'm like, you know, there's some things I'm like, sure, tell me more, or no, thanks, not interested in it. So just realize, like, when you invite people, that we're living, breathing this. Beachbody, we're inviting every day, so it's always on the top of our minds, right? But this is their first invitation, or maybe their second invitation that they've received from you. They're just like, maybe I will, or maybe I want to respond to them when I get back, and then they forget, or maybe not right now. And that's about all the thought process that goes into them thinking about your invite. You don't know enough. I think that's fantastic. If you're a new coach and you're like, I don't know how to coach, so how am I going to teach somebody to coach? That is fantastic, because that is your opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I've got this new thing. I would love to do it together. We can learn together. We can grow together, and it's going to be amazing. It's all in how you approach it. If you're like, I don't know enough, then they're going to say, well, she doesn't know anything. But if you're like, hey, we get to learn this together. How fun is this going to be to start a business together and really learn the ropes and support one another? It's all in how you present it and all how you really feel about it, right? It works and various things. One thing that I really truly love about what we do is we're a relationship building business. It's not like, hey, let's put this wrap thing around your body and here's $100 and then I'll see you later. It's like, hey, I'm like, I always share about like the pencil. I'm not a pencil salesman. I'm going to give you a pencil and I'm going to teach you how to use it. And I might teach you cursive. And then if that doesn't work, then maybe I'll teach you whatever other kind of penmanship there is. And I'm going to teach it. And then we're going to do it together. And that's, I think, what sets us apart. We feel like salespeople, we're selling a product. We're selling a relationship. We're selling a change. And it's so different than a lot of other network marketing companies because it's truly building a relationship. And if you come with, hey, I'm just selling you a product, then you are a salesperson. I'm sorry. But if you're like, hey, I'm going to provide this tool for you, yeah, there's a small cost. But then look at all this awesome stuff that you get. And we're going to do this together. And you get me for life. I tell people all the time, I'm like, you get me for life or until you're sick of me. So how cool is that? And then I know that somebody said that hearing no, it's easier said than done to hear that. But like Justin's really good about sharing this, but like I chew gum. And if I pull out a piece of gum and somebody's next to me, I'm going to say, hey, you want a piece of gum? If they say no, am I going to be offended? No, they still want a piece of gum. You know, if they, hey, have a friend come over, hey, do you want a glass of wine? No, I don't drink wine. They clearly don't like me. No, they freaking don't drink. You know, they're not into health and fitness, whatever. I think we personalize the no when the no just means no. It doesn't mean I don't like you. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't think you're cool. It just means I'm not into health and fitness. I haven't been provided enough value. I've already got something going on, whatever it is. And that is it. That's all I know.
Absolutely. It is true, guys, especially with the no's. I do know, you know, there's not one coach in this call. There's not one coach on our team. There's not one coach, I would venture to say, in Beachbody that has not, when they first started, was not concerned about hearing somebody say no, or it didn't sting a little bit, right? It still stings a little bit today. You know, when you talk to somebody and you build a relationship, they just go, no, it's not me. It always like, oh, you know, because there's that thing in the back of your head that says, you know, are they actually saying no to me, or are they just saying no to this process? But I guarantee if you were, you know, talking to them you guys are standing on the street corner, you're talking to them and you were saying, hey, let's go have dinner at this restaurant over here. You know, I've heard this one's really good. And they're like, I don't really want to go there. I want to go over here instead, you know, or, you know, whatever. You wouldn't think twice about it. You would never take that personal because you had no attachment to it, because you know that it's not personal. It's the same exact thing when people are talking to you about health and fitness. Sometimes they're just going to say no. And it really, like, the more we think that it's about us, this is why we say, stop making it about you, right? It isn't about us. None of it is about us. Their goals are not about us. What program they buy is not about us, right? When we talk to them, we're trying to help them. None of that is about us. Helping them become coaches, not about us. Helping them become successful coaches, still not about us. It's none of this can be about us. It has to be about them. So therefore, too, when they say no, not about us, again, it's about them, right? We turn there and start asking questions. Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead and do me a favor and type it in so that we can get through all of them. So I don't. Can
I just say a comment? It's not really a question.
Sure.
I'll be brief. So it is interesting because when we do think of the no's that we get, and it's one of those things about a lifestyle, really, really quick. That's one of the things that is the biggest moneymaker for gyms. Is those people that sign up in January and then don't show up in February or March. The reality is, if you compare yourself to a gym, you know what I'm saying? You've got to build that value. You've got to create something, your challengers or whatever your momentum is for them. It's about them. It's not about you owning the gym. It's not about you cleaning off the equipment. It's not that. It's what's going to entice or what's going to keep bringing your customers back. It's the creative post that Deanna and you all and everybody does. It's the heartfelt, it's being genuine and it's being real. Even if they haven't said yes yet, they're still watching. And think of all the people, think of ourselves, right? Of all the feeds that we see, oh, that's cute, or I wonder where she got those, whatever it is, that we don't comment, but we still watch that person, right? So they're doing the same thing that we are. People are watching. There's 320 million people in the USA. I'm going to share this with you. This is a true fact. ABC, Good Morning America, yesterday said the #1 healthiest nation in the world is Italy.
What?
Italy. It's their Mediterranean diet. It's the olive oil. It's everything like that. Guess where the U.S. ranks?
Oh, God.
34. We are needed. People need us, right? So you're welcome. That's all I got.
It is true. She's got a very good point, guys. We are truly needed. And if your heart's in the right place and it's truly to change people's lives and make them more healthy, not just reach even a specific weight on the scale, but truly make them more healthy. That's why I think Shakeology is such a massively important building block in our entire equation. You're not going to come off the way we all think we're coming off, because you're not going to lead with promotions. You're naturally going to lead with emotion. I had a guy today, and then if there's no other questions, we'll let you guys go. But I had a guy today who I've spoken to about coaching, because he basically wants to do it. He's basically already doing it. He just doesn't know. And we talked, and I showed him, I was like, hey, I'd love to have you in one of our challenge groups. Let's go through the program, see how you like it. And if you've got a belief in it, maybe, we'll move from there. And we were talking and I sent him videos and he didn't respond for a long time, and I finally reached out to him again and I said, hey, please don't misunderstand my passion for pressure. I'm not trying to pressure you here, but I watched your video today and coaching has changed beyond my life. And I just truly believe that it will change yours too. And I want you to know, as you know, this is not a sales pitch. This is just straight from my heart, dude. And he replied back immediately with I totally know that this is from your heart and it's not a sales pitch, man. Let's definitely connect soon. And it's true, because it really isn't a sales pitch to me, right? So I'm not going to lead with the idea of just trying to talk somebody into something. I truly believe that what I'm giving them, I am actually giving them, and it is an opportunity. And I wouldn't be saying it if I didn't mean it. So it doesn't come off like a sales, so I don't get that response. And we're all you guys, I guarantee, are doing the same thing. If you don't lead with that promotion idea and just say, this is on sale, we're going to get you this, instead you lead with the emotion behind what you want, what we have to offer, which we truly do have to offer. It's not going to come across the way you think it's going to come across. People are going to be flattered that you invited or asked them, period. It's just how it works. Does anybody else have any other questions about anything tonight? So I don't bore you guys.
I just had one really quick thing just because I was thinking about this, and, fear of no is so huge for all of us, but it made me think about the very first question that Justin asked about what makes us fearful, or what our hesitation is to, what was it, about Beachbody or whatever. And we all said fear, right? Yeah. So we thought fear of failure, fear of this. You got to realize that a lot of people that we're inviting have that same fear. They have the fear of failing. They have the fear of, I've done every single diet and nothing has worked. So why do I want to do something that I'm going to fail at again? So you got to remember that they're not saying no to you. They're just why do I want to disappoint myself again? Nothing's worked. So you need to be that light and put that belief in them and say, you know what, just try it. And share your own story. I failed so many times. I failed quitting smoking for 20 years. And then finally I hit it, but I didn't quit. I didn't stop trying. I failed tons of times. It only takes one time for it to stick or fall off and jump back on, right? So just remember, when people tell you no, a lot of times it comes from fear.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Well, hey, thank you guys for being on the call tonight. I thank you guys for taking out the time, because I know these calls are long. Yeah, you guys, if there's no other questions, you guys have a fantastic Wednesday evening. Everybody enjoy your night, and we will see you guys very soon. Okay? We'll see you guys. Good night, everybody.